Hello, here is the news at this hour from Tstv. I am Olaide Amosu. Here are some major headlines. Oyo government changes resumption date for students. Court orders PDP to field OBASEKI in Edo primaries. And on the foreign scene, United Kingdom to relax coronavirus lockdown from July 4th. An exciting world of sports, David LUIZ agrees Arsenal contract extension. Now the news in details. The Oyo State COVID-19 Task Force has modified the resumption date for Primary 6, Junior Secondary School 3 and Senior Secondary School 3 students in the state. The task force, which rose from a 2.5-hour meeting on Monday, reviewed the state of preparedness for all the schools ahead of the planned resumption. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Seyi Makinde, Mr. Taiwo Adisa, confirmed that the Commissioner for Education, Barrister Olasokomi Olaleye, and experts from the Emergency Operations Center had been going round the schools to determine compliance with the COVID-19 prevention protocol put in place by the schools. The statement added that the team has since discovered that a space of 1 week was needed to enable the schools test run the facilities, especially the hand-washing points and the security measures. The task force urged the residents of the state to remain calm and to continue to observe the COVID-19 precautionary guidelines, as according to it, the rising number of positive cases in the state has to do with the ongoing massive community testing. The management of the University College Hospital UCH Ibadan has dismissed the statement credited to the Oyo State Commissioner of Finance, Mr. Akinola Ojo, that the hospital received 118 million naira to fight COVID-19. Toye Akinrilola, Public Relations Officer of the hospital, stated this in a statement issued on behalf of the Chief Medical Director on Wednesday. The management said all services rendered to the Oyo State government were strictly humanitarian and no financial benefits have accrued to the hospital. The management said the hospital being able to cope with the rigors of the pandemic through donations from the NCDC, an organ of the federal government, some corporate bodies, well-meaning Nigerians, alumni associations of the hospital, staff and students of the hospital. Benue State government has announced that the first death from coronavirus disease has been recorded in the state. This is even as the confirmed cases has risen to 47 from the initial figure of 39 from the weekend. The Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Sunday Onigbagbo, disclosed this on Tuesday, although he could not categorically confirm the cause of death. The Commissioner said the victim was being managed by the state government. According to him, the patient had other health complications arising from the surgery he had, adding that the post-mortem test conducted on call came back positive for COVID-19. A High Court of Justice in the Ekwoma Judicial Division today restrained the People's Democratic Party (PDP) from excluding Governor Godwin Obaseki and the other cleared aspirants from participating in the Edo State governorship primary. The court ordered that the PDP and the electoral umpire should not exempt any of the aspirants who have been cleared by the party from participating in the gubernatorial primary slated for the 25th June 2020. With this decision, Governor Godwin Obaseki has been given the legal green light to participate in the gubernatorial primary. The World Bank has approved a $750 million International Development Association credit for Nigeria's power sector recovery operation. This was contained in a statement issued by the bank on Wednesday. The statement quoted World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Subham Chowdhury, as saying the credit would help to improve the electricity supply in Nigeria. It expressed worry that about 47% of Nigerians have no access to grid electricity, and those who had access faced regular power cuts. According to the bank, the economic cost of power shortages in Nigeria is estimated at around $28 billion, which is equivalent to 2% of its gross domestic product. It stated that getting access to electricity was one of the major constraints for the private sector, according to the Ease of Doing Business report. The statement read in part, lack of reliable power has stifled economic activity and private investment and job creation. The This is ultimately what is needed to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. Moving on to the foreign scene, the United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced that bars, restaurants, hotels and salons can open in England from July 4th, when social distancing rules will be eased. According to the British Broadcasting Corporation, Johnson says people should remain 2 meters apart where possible, but a 1 meter plus rule would be introduced. The Prime Minister, however, warned that all the steps were reversible and added the 2 households in England would also be able to meet indoors and stay overnight without social distancing. The Prime Minister added that indoor gyms, swimming pools, nail bars and indoor play areas were among the list of businesses that would remain closed as they have been on lockdown since March 23rd. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, Wales' First Minister Mark Drakeford and Northern Ireland's Arlene Foster also said the 2 meter rule would remain in place in their nations for the moment. And Brazil's central bank said Tuesday it had ordered Visa and MasterCard to suspend a joint project with WhatsApp to roll out digital payments within the popular messaging service over fears it would be anti-competitive. Brazil, which has the second most WhatsApp users worldwide after India, was the pilot country for the platform's new integrated payments feature, which it launched on June 15th with an eye to rolling it out worldwide. But the central bank, which regulates payment systems in Brazil, put the new feature on hold indefinitely. The reason for the central bank's decision is to preserve an adequate competitive environment, ensuring an interoperable, fast, secure, transparent, open and economical payment system. It said in a statement. It also cited data privacy concerns. WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, is the most popular mobile messaging app in the world, with more than 1.5 billion monthly users globally, according to market tracker Statistica. In the exciting world of sports, veteran defender David Luiz has signed a new 1-year deal with Arsenal, the Premier League club announced on Wednesday. The 33-year-old Brazil international joined the Gunners last year from Chelsea on an initial 12-month deal. He was heavily criticised after being sent off in last week's 3-0 loss to Manchester City when the Premier League resumed after the coronavirus shutdown. But Arsenal technical director Edu hailed Luiz's influence on and off the pitch. Arsenal have also moved to make the temporary moves of fellow defenders Pablo Mari and Cedric Suarez into permanent arrangements. While midfielder Dani Ceballos, loaned from Real Madrid, has been extended until the end of the 2019-2020 season. Belgian club KRC Gent have reached an agreement to sign striker Cyril Dessers for €4 million on a 4-year deal from Dutch side Heracles Almelo, according to reports in Holland. Heracles had valued the Belgian-born striker at €6 million, with Genk unwilling to pay, but according to Newsbee, a deal has been reached. Dessers will join compatriots Paul Onachu and Steven Ode at the former Belgian champions. Dessers became a top priority for the club after the void left by the departure of Tanzanian striker Mbwana Samata, who made an €8.5 million move to English Premier League side Aston Villa in January. The 25-year-old had the season to remember before the Eredivisie was cancelled due to the COVID-19 outbreak. He scored 15 goals in 26 appearances to emerge joint top scorer with Feyenoord's Steven Berghuis in the Eredivisie. Dessers has earlier attracted interest from La Liga side Celta Vigo and Serie A's Spal, but both teams were put off by the player's asking price of €4 million. The striker, who has a Nigerian mother, was handed his first call-up to the Super Eagles in March in a botched 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match versus Sierra Leone. With that, we've come to the end of the news, a recap of the headlines. Oyo government changes resumption date for students. Court orders PDP to field OBASEKI in Edo primaries. And on the foreign scene, UK to relax coronavirus lockdown from July 4th. And in sports, LUIZ agrees Arsenal contract extension. As the world eases out of lockdown, kindly ensure to take all advice and precautions as given by health workers. The news was compiled by Mobola Badekale. I am Olaide Amose. Good day and thank you for watching.